Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Private Eyes. I'm Bari.
And I'm Jen.
So today, subject of conversation is going to be alimony. Now, I'm not a lawyer. Sometimes I play one on TV. No, I don't even do that. I don't pretend to be a lawyer, but we work with a lot of attorneys, and alimony is a very contentious subject.
Yes.
And we know this because we also got a lot of feedback on our TikTok when we did a little alimony skit. So while we really don't advise or really have anything to do with alimony itself, there are often times when people need us to help them when they are paying alimony. So what is alimony? Do you know what alimony is, Jen?
Yeah. Alimony is money that has to be given to either the female or the male in the relationship, because once they get divorced, they need to have a similar lifestyle. For example, if the woman was a stay-at-home mom her whole life, taking care of their kids, this, that, never had a job, can't produce a resume. So after they get divorced, how's she supposed to get a job? Stuff like that, the ex has to pay them a certain amount of money.
It's just continuing support. So if you've been supported by someone throughout the course of your marriage, you are entitled to alimony payments, which happens on a monthly basis. There's limits. Now, every state is different. So this is why I'm not advising anybody on how to get alimony, what to do with alimony, any of that, get a lawyer. Yes. But most states have limits, and a lot of the times those limits are similar. Most of the time, when we are called to help with a case, it has to do with the person that's paying alimony. For example, alimony can be terminated in certain circumstances. Now, I've never met one who wants to have their alimony terminated.
Right.
Okay? I don't feel like having any extra money anymore.
Nah.
So there are certain situations, certain limits in states where alimony can be terminated. And one of those situations, and there's a couple of them, one of them could be retiring. That ends alimony. Sometimes if you end up making more or less money, that could raise or decrease alimony. Living with another adult person as the payee, the one receiving the alimony, if you're doing that, that could terminate your alimony. And we refer to that as cohabiting or cohabitation. Right. When you are divorced, you are receiving alimony, but you have a relationship with another adult and you are living with them and living your life similar to a married couple, your alimony can be terminated. And it surprises me how many people don't know this. They think that they can live and be supported by somebody else. Right. So you're taking advantage of the relationship that you're in now, yet still getting money from your former spouse, making a lot of bank, So I don't know anyone who'd want to give that up. So what happens? People start getting sneaky and they start doing things to prevent their former spouse from finding out about the relationship or how significant that relationship is, so that they don't go back to the court and say, hey, look, there's been a change in circumstances here. I don't think I should have to pay alimony anymore.
Right. I want to chime in here, and I think you can, talk about this, is when you are collecting alimony, you can have a boyfriend or girlfriend, but they can't be living with you and benefiting off of the alimony.
Right.
Money.
It works both ways. So one way the court looks at it, they feel alimony should be terminated if you are now in a relationship with someone who can support you. What kind of financial benefit, what kind of gain are you getting from that relationship? That alimony should be terminated. And the flip side of that is sometimes you end up dating a bum. Why should they be benefiting from your former spouse's alimony? That's not fair.
No.
Why should, no matter how shitty they were as a partner, why should they pay for somebody else's lifestyle?
No, that's terrible.
Right. So in those situations, that former spouse could bring a case to the court that says, hey, this is what's going on. I want to terminate alimony, but it's just not that easy. It's actually really, really difficult.
It is difficult. And that's where we come in play, where we have to do surveillance and a lot of it.
In both those situations, you might have a case to terminate alimony if you can prove it, but you got to prove it.
Right.
There's always people out there that kind of want to game the system. You know, they know they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing, and they want to have the life that they want to have. They want to hold on to that alimony, and they know that they shouldn't. And then there's some people who really have no clue, who probably never read their settlement agreement upon getting a divorce that says, hey, by the way, you cannot be living with another adult male and still collect alimony. So in either of those cases, we're often called to try to obtain evidence to show that cohabitation is taking place. Now, it's often not simple. It's not cut and dry. There's a lot of factors, specifically like for New Jersey. You have to present a case that shows that their relationship, this new relationship, contains several factors that point to cohabitation, that illustrate that they are living their life as a married couple.
Right.
People think it's simply just, well, as long as we don't live together, that's fine. I'm not going to get caught collecting alimony and still living with my boyfriend, my significant other. So the courts got wise to that. So they changed all the rules. And what, in this case, in New Jersey, for example, they said they changed the laws, and they said, look, we know what everybody's up to here. All right. It's more than just living together, because what people started to do was they would maintain like a shell apartment, but still live together, or they would never spend any overnights together, but spend time together and do all of the things a normal married couple might do. So the court said, we're changing that. It's not just about living together anymore. It's all of these different things. How much time do you actually spend together? How long has this relationship been going on? Are you sharing in household duties? Are your finances intertwined? Amongst other things, it's the totality of all of these factors that we have to bring to light to show as evidence that there is cohabitation taking place. Like for another example, is a relationship recognized in social and family, circles? Do people know that these people are seriously dating?
It's not easy.
Mm-mm.
I mean, look, these people hide their cars. They're doing such weird stuff. So, we're out there every morning, every night. These cases take a long time. We're not getting the answer in one day.
No, they do take a long time. And there's lots of different components. You're showing the totality of everything. So we might want to get evidence of, a couple of overnights. We might want to get evidence of the fact that maybe your new boyfriend is picking up your kids from school, helping you out with those chores. Who's doing the grocery shopping? Who's buying the groceries? All of these things tie into what is considered cohabitation.
Yes. And what about, are they using keys to get into the house?
Right. Are they accessing the house when when the other person isn't there?
Are we seeing them use the code to the garage?
Right.
These are dead giveaways, but they take time.
People are slick. Yeah. Okay. And when they know that they probably shouldn't be getting alimony anymore, they start doing all kinds of funky things. So an attorney or somebody will call us to investigate a case where they suspect that cohabitation is taking place. So we'll do a lot of surveillance. And what do we see when people are getting slick?
Oh, we see them hiding cars.
To be honest, people really don't have a clear understanding of what cohabitation is. They think that we just can't live together anymore as a couple. So you stay home overnight, I'll stay home, and we could do everything else. We don't have cohabitation. So what often they do is, if they do want to spend nights together, they hide their cars. They hide it in the person's garage. They'll hide it around the corner and walk to the house in the middle of the night. They'll hide it in a parking lot. They do all kinds of random things to show that, hey, we're not spending overnights together. But again, it's not just about overnights.
Yes.
It's not just about actually living in a house together.
Yes, it's not just that. It's, we've followed them out to dinner before. Mm-hmm. Who's paying the bill? Seeing who is picking up the check, So, I mean, that is very crucial. And as an investigator, we are like jumping through hoops to try to, get on camera who's paying the bill.
Right. And surveillance is such a critical component of cohabitation because when people, and don't get me wrong, there are people who are extremely evasive and we're never going to get as much evidence as we want in terms of overnights or how often they're spending time, how much time they're spending together in each other's homes. But sometimes we end up doing surveillance and find out on surveillance they go furniture shopping. We find out they're buying a house together and they're trying to keep that on the DL. They're only putting it in one person's name. But clearly what the surveillance video shows is that other person has clear intentions to decorate that house. They have a say in it. We overhear them saying our new house, terms like that show that they are committed to one another and they have intentions of living together.
Hey, when I'm out there and I'm following them into that furniture shop, I'll never forget that one day. I mean, I was inside that store for like 5 hours.
So that's actually a really good cohabitation story.
So I'm on this case. And
separate homes.
Separate homes. And, they would meet up. And that's when we started realizing something's up. Like it seems like they might have purchased a house together or something. I go to this furniture store. And like I said, I was in there for like 5-6 hours and they're testing beds together. They're laying on beds. They're on the couch. The boyfriend's like chilling on the couch and he's like, this would look so nice in our house. What do you think about this for our living room? And I'm like, wait, Barry, my God.
And didn't she say like, yes, I think all the kids when they're home will fit on it. We can all sit on it together. So like they're blending families. Everybody's kids are coming home to this one central location where they have this big, beautiful sofa, a big dining room table.
I mean, I was like, I can't wait to call you. I'm like, Barry, they're doing this, they're doing that. And then I remember I followed them the one time to dinner. Yes. It was Valentine's Day. And I couldn't take my wife because I took her one other time to a cohab case that I'll share with you later. But she said she'll never come with me again. And
that's on the episode, Take Your Spouse to Work Day.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one. But so I took my mom. And my mom said, yeah, I would love to go. And it was Valentine's Day. So my mom was super happy. We get into this restaurant and him and the female and blended family again. They go upstairs. There was like 8 of them.
Our client's ex-wife, her new boyfriend, the boyfriend's mother, her daughter, and like a couple other kids.
Yeah. And it was somebody's birthday. They're exchanging gifts, everything. I'm like, oh my God. So, it's funny. I have to share this. So I tell my mom to come with me and they go upstairs and I'm like, table for 2, please. And they're like, oh, you could sit right here at this high top. And I'm holding my mom's back and I'm like, oh no, it's not safe for my mommy up on here. And my mom's like, what the heck are you talking about? Why are you making me sound like this? I'm like, shut up and just go play the game.
Just play along.
Just play along. I said, can we go upstairs? And they're like, yeah, we have tables up there. So I'm holding my mom's back, acting like, she needs help up there. And then the waitress puts us over by the window. And I said, oh no, my mom gets a draft. It's too bad on her back. Can we sit right here? And my mom's like, there's stuff on the table. I go, Mom, sit down. Stay right there. We're sitting here. And the waitress comes over. Well, this table's dirty. I'm like, that's okay. This is the best spot for my mom. Just sit.
A dirty table.
Clean it up.
Give your mom the dirty table.
So my mom's sitting directly across from me, and I have my camera on the table, and I'm just sitting there the whole time watching them interact.
Right. And what was so important about this was that we're acting like a family. They were a family. In fact, our client's daughter called the boyfriend's mother grandma. So it just shows the significance of the relationship, how long they've been together, the level of comfortability amongst the family members.
Yes.
Because a lot of people think like, just because I'm divorced doesn't mean my life is over. I mean, I'm collecting alimony. Why should I not have a life? You can have a life. Yeah. You can have a life, but you can't be married. Right. So if your relationship mimics that of one that is marriage, which includes sharing in chores, blended families, doing things together, taking trips, taking care of each other's children, taking care of each other's homes, grocery shopping, all the things that you
buying
imagine.
furniture together?
Right, buying furniture together, all of those things lean toward cohabitation.
Yes.
And our job as investigators, look, we're not the judge and the jury.
No.
We don't decide what is considered at the end, what a court would consider cohabitation. But our job is to get just enough evidence that a judge will look at it and say, this makes me want to investigate a little more. Right. Send me your bank records. And lo and behold, that's when they start to find that the boyfriend's been paying the car payment and the boyfriend's been paying for this and so on and so forth. So we just got to get over that hump. We got to bring the evidence just over the hump so that it could be looked into further, as it should.
Wait, sometimes
what?
When you're speaking of, let's look at the bank records, how many garbage pulls did we have to do? Digging through so much shit.
So many.
And
Is it bad that I like that? It's so gross.
No, it's so gross, but I feel like you like picking through it and
there's coffee on the receipts. We're looking for receipts. We're bringing the receipts. That's what we're looking for.
Nothing worse than grabbing the bag that has like the kitty litter in it or something. And you're like,
how about a dirty diaper? Grabbed a few of those in my day.
Oh, the bags that have like
coffee grinds.
The one from the bathroom.
Wet.
It's got like hair and razor
tampons.
Blades. Oh,
they're the worst.
The worst. But I'll never forget this one day. I said, Barry, I got like two bags of garbage. And Barry's like, yes, I'm so excited. She's got a mask on. She puts gloves on and, lay out plastic and just dump it out. And I'll never forget. And I know why you got excited. Because when, lo and behold, there's like a little thing all crumbled up and you uncrumbled it. There's a credit card.
Yes, it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing.
Not a credit card, but a receipt. And that receipt was...
And it had the credit card numbers and an account that they shared. And it was just, it made the case.
Yes.
So sometimes, you find the evidence in the strangest places, but that's one of them. So again, it's like there's so many parts to cohabitation. Yes. There's so many factors that you have to try to bring evidence that touches on each of those factors and for a period of time. So, on the flip side of that, we also get a lot of people that are just sick of paying alimony and they are just desperate for their ex to be in a relationship so they can be done. Right. So they're imagining that they're in a marital type relationship.
Yeah, they want to get rid of it or
done
reduce.
Those too. Yes.
Yeah.
We look, when we do those cases, I'm very honest. So I go out, I assess, and I say, look, you don't have cohabitation here. Let's revisit it in a year and see what's happening.
Right.
But one that I distinctly remember that was like that, because it was so much fun, actually. So we had this client, and he wasn't working with an attorney at the time. He just said, you know what? I want to look into this. I know it. I know that I'm not going to hire an attorney until I know for sure that they're living together, but I know that they are. I know that this is cohabitation. The guy's always there. I saw pictures on Facebook that he was there for Thanksgiving. I saw pictures on Facebook that he did this, and, they might have taken a trip together. I don't know, but I definitely think, there's cohabitation going on. I said, well, does your ex-wife work? No, she doesn't work at all. I was like, all right, well, that's not good because, all right, this guy's better be pretty mighty, this new guy that she's dating, and, he better be paying for stuff. So we'll find out. Okay. So we're doing surveillance on this case. Not a single overnight. Her car was always in the driveway. His car, he had an apartment like 3 miles away. His car was always there. Nothing sneaky going on. We didn't feel that, initially. I didn't think anything was up. I just really believed they weren't spending nights together.
Right.
So not only were there no overnights, this guy was like a total bum. The boyfriend was a total bum. Like he just, and I mean that in several different ways. I knew financially he was somewhat of a bum. He was not contributing to her lifestyle. I just wasn't seeing it. The other side of that was they were, as a couple, obsessed with karaoke. Okay? They really didn't have anything else going on. I know this sounds weird, but it's true. They were obsessed with karaoke.
Karaoke will get you every time.
Gets me. So I followed, and I know you did one night of karaoke.
Oh,
I
God.
did one night of karaoke. And the night of karaoke that I did, and it was so strange. So he's up there singing, and she sings. He's much better than her. I mean, he was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And she was his biggest fan. Like, this guy thought he was a star.
Oh,
like,
my
he
God.
thought he was a star. He was talking to people. And I remember he actually came up to me and he was like, you know, what song are you going to sing? You know, like, he just wanted feedback. He's like, did you like the way I performed? I'm like, yeah, I thought you were great. You know, like, he was there for it. He didn't talk to my client's ex-wife. Like, he was there for himself. And then she would get up and sing. He's like, oh, yeah, I did a good job. You know, but it was all about him. He was so selfish. This is where he was a bum.
Well, he just liked the support.
He liked her support. So then I got a great parking spot in the lot where I could see directly into their windshield. So I'm like, all right. I was just getting like this weird vibe. You had done a night of karaoke. You didn't see anything. They didn't even spend the night together. Now I'm doing one. I'm like, maybe, here we go again. Maybe we're missing something. So I got this great spot. I'm like, I just want to see them kiss. Like, I want to see that there's some romance. There's some spark. There's some something. So karaoke night's over. They get in the car. Doesn't even hold the door open for her. She just gets in. He gets in. No kiss.
Nothing.
No nothing. I follow them back to her place. He pulls into the driveway. I'm like, all right, please, a kiss. Spend the night. Something. Nope. Drops her off. No kiss. He leaves. Goes back home. I was like, this isn't I don't even think he likes her. I don't even know what's going on here. Like, I don't know when they're intimate.
That she's a fan.
I know. She's his biggest fan. And that's what he was all about. He just wanted a big old fan. So, look, they were dating. You're allowed to date. Yes. Okay? But if it's tending toward marriage, you're talking about marriage with that new partner, you know,
something's got to change.
It's going to change, unfortunately. I mean, I never heard anybody say, hey, listen, I'm going to get married. I don't want your alimony anymore. They're not going to do that. But you get to a point, give up pretty easy. Like, here's the evidence. Nobody wants to spend money in court. This is what our investigator found. They know that, you know, it's more than just a dating relationship. Can we work something out here? Yeah. And that's usually how it ends these days, which is good. Then everybody's happy.
Although these cases are difficult, I love them. You have to be more careful than anything on any job. I mean, all our jobs as, you know, private investigators, we're very careful and we're very aware of our surroundings. But especially on these cases, you know, you have to watch your back and everything. I mean, you never know where one of them's going to walk out from. You know, they could be parking their car down the road and you might see one of them walk by. So, your head's on a swivel here. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of...
Yeah, when they're trying to make it complicated, yes. Yeah. Yep. You got to put all the pieces together. And when you're not getting those overnights, you know, they think they're you know, one step ahead and hiding the cars and doing whatever. We got to get them another way. And we usually, if it's there, we find it. We'll do it.
And the one thing I always think of, there's this one case we did, and this woman, she was getting a very, very large amount of alimony. Okay? Very large. And here, her boyfriend has a job that definitely was not a high-paying job.
Right, not on par with the former spouse.
No. I mean, you're talking thousands of dollars this woman was getting a month. But no, she wanted this boyfriend to come in here and he's making beans and, you know, and she winds up losing that money. I'll tell you what, the amount of money that she was getting, I wouldn't have a boyfriend. I wouldn't have a girlfriend. I'd say, see you guys later.
Exactly.
You know, I'd be living off that money for as long as I could, going trips and everything. But you know, people get lonely and they have to do the right thing. Yeah. Like you said, do the right thing, do the right thing.
Jen.
What?
We have our first caller today.
A caller?
Yeah, so somebody called. Her name's Jessica. She actually happened to see the TikTok and she had some questions about alimony that she's paying. So I'm going to play her message now. We're going to play it and then we're going to answer her question.
Okay, sounds great. Let's hear it.
Hey, I wanted to call into you guys really quick. I trust your opinions so much. I've seen your TikTok on alimony, and I'm in kind of a similar situation. I think that my ex-husband has moved in with his new girlfriend, and is trying to hide it from me, so I have to continue to pay him alimony. I've seen his car in her driveway. I know they spent a lot of time together. I just don't know personally how much evidence I need to be able to bring it to court, and I think you guys can help me out with that. Thank you so much.
It's a really, really good question. And we talked a lot about the type of evidence that we need to prove cohabitation. But as we mentioned, they're really, really complicated. So a lot of times the issue is duration.
Right.
You're not proving cohabitation overnight. It's not like a cheating spouse case where they kiss, you get the money shot, and at that point it could be over.
Right.
In this case, how long it goes on, the better. I always say when we do these investigations, when I say, more is better.
Right.
Okay? You can't have too much cohabitation evidence.
Right.
If you have too little and you present it,
it's not enough.
You're blowing it up. You've blown your cover. They're going to hide going forward. So more is better. So these things can continue. We're collecting this evidence for a couple weeks. Could even be a couple months.
Yes.
I've done some that were up to 6 months or more. And those were very complicated. They're not all like that. Some of them are more simple. But it's very important that someone like Jessica, and by the way, men get alimony, okay? They are out there.
Yep.
And our ratio here, it's still more men than women that are paying alimony.
Right.
But there's a good chunk of women who have been the breadwinners who are paying alimony.
Absolutely.
So whoever says, who are these guys? You're out there. There's a lot of you.
Yeah.
So get yourself a rich woman. So Jessica, who's paying alimony, okay, to her ex. Now, she needs to weigh the cost benefit here.
Yes.
Now, if you get, if your marital settlement agreement says that you're only going to pay alimony for 5 years, it's such and such amount, you really have to weigh what you're paying per month in alimony, the duration of that alimony versus what an investigation is going to cost, because these investigations are not cheap. They ain't cheap. They go on for a long
not just
time.
one day.
It is an investment. It's an investment. So you really have to weigh the cost.
Yeah.
Another thing I would tell Jessica, do a little research, hire an investigator, say you find out that there is cohabitation going on, you got to get yourself a lawyer.
Yeah.